I'm Dave, and with me tonight are Greg and Trevor. All right, well, tonight on the agenda, we've got a couple of game reviews. One on a game that's already come out, Splinter Cell Conviction. Excellent, excellent game. And another on a game that we're much anticipating. It's coming out this spring. It's called Brink. It's by Bethesda, and it looks awesome. Guys, what do you think?
It's
Well,
a must trash. Throw it away.
All right, don't get to talk anymore.
I haven't actually bought.
This coming from the biggest Splinter Cell fan ever.
That's right.
I know. I've actually never played any of the Splinter Cell games because Trev, when we played on the Xbox, would just kick my ass repeatedly as the spy when we were playing it on that first Xbox. So I just got over it fast. And I guess this third one, there was a big gap between this one and the last one. Wasn't how long of a gap was there between these sequels?
Oh, jeez, Trev.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes a few years to develop the game. So let me see the.
True, but we had a couple of sequels in rapid succession. The first one came out; it was all single player.
Well, that's true.
But the moment the second one came out, they had like three in rapid succession. Like, what was it, 3 and 4 years or something like that?
Well, the reason that they're coming out so quickly, or they seem like they were coming out so quickly, is because there's two separate game studios working on them. One in Montreal and one in Shanghai.
That makes sense.
So the Montreal studio developed the first Splinter Cell game, and so while they were wrapping that game up, the Montreal, or the Shanghai studio was developing Pandora Tomorrow, and so they kind of just flip-flopped back and forth. When they were wrapping up Pandora Tomorrow, the Montreal team would start developing Chaos Theory.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they go back and forth.
Okay, well that explains it. Well, what do you think of the game? The single player is pretty excellent. The multiplayer has some interesting pros and cons. What do you think?
Greg?
Trev said I don't. Like I said, I didn't buy it because I've just been so out of the loop, and it seems like one of these games that the story's very involved and complex, and I'd have to play the first two Splinter Cells to even remotely I have an idea of what's going on in the third one.
Well, that's definitely true. The campaign sort of culminates around Sam Fisher finding his daughter and finding his daughter's killers and all that. So if you haven't played the campaign, you might feel a little bit out of the loop. But I would normally encourage you to go purchase it. But it doesn't have a versus mode. In the last in the last 3 or 4 games, you could go 3-on-3, 3 spies versus 3 mercenaries. In this game, not so much. They decided to give you the normal co-op. I can play with a friend and we can work together. But now they've also given you a spy versus spy mode where multiple spies, face off, where multiple spies are trying to accrue points by killing mercenaries, but also by killing each other and countering each other's moves. So it's pretty interesting, but I gotta say I'm a little disappointed with the with the fact that we can't sort of all go online and kick the crap out of a bunch of mercenaries.
Yeah, as fun as it was, I don't really miss it, actually. I'm kind of happy with just the co-op campaign and the deniable ops and, face-off. I'm kind of content with that, because the other ones I didn't play a whole lot online. You would find those, Dave, we played a lot. You would find those players that just would kick your butt up and down the map. They knew
their name was Tress.
They knew the best spots, and they kind of just had it down to a science, and it wasn't.
Well, whenever you play a multiplayer game, you always take that chance. There's always the young kids who've got no time on their got all kinds of time on their hands, so they play these games nonstop, or the older guys who don't have a job, so they really learn how to kick your ass. But I really enjoyed it. One of my favorite things to do was being able to go up and I think it was Pandora Tomorrow, where you could grab a mercenary, hit the white button, the original Xbox way back in the day, and you could whisper into his ear and then break his neck. You could talk a little smack in the middle of the game. That was the most fun thing about multiplayer.
That was great. Yeah,
that was pretty great.
Yeah, that was on the original. Yeah, that was when they first introduced multiplayer.
Yeah, that was quite fun. Quite fun.
They also one of the big values of the game that I noticed I was kind of shocked was that Michael Ironside, who apparently did the voice of Sam Fisher in the other video game as well, that's a pretty big name. He's done a lot of video game work as well as television and film. I mean, he was also he did some Justice League episodes. He was did a voice in Time Shift. He was in Terminal Salvation. That's something he's done. He's been in a bunch of stuff. And,
Well, he's great for that voiceover work. I mean, he's got such a
He's
rich
that man's
tone.
man voice.
Well, not just that, but it's got such an iconic sound that, man, you just instantly recognize it every time you hear it. So the moment that he starts speaking in that Sam Fisher voice, like, man, it's just badass.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking right now. Was the last game that came out in 2005? Was Chaos there? Was that the last one?
No, Double Agent was the last one that just came out.
2006.
Also, another excellent Splinter Cell game.
You know, yeah, we should probably get back to Splinter Cell story. Yeah, Conviction, it's the 5th installment. And you know, the game's been actually gotten a lot of praise, the whole series, but Double Agent actually got a lot of crap. That seems to be the worst one in the entire franchise. But
And that's so funny. I had so much fun with that game.
you know, yeah, I actually, yeah, we're one of the few, I guess, that really enjoyed Double Agent. But so I guess, you know, with Double Agent, that bad taste in everyone's mouth, a lot of people were skeptical about Conviction. So Ubisoft had a lot of make up for to the fans.
Yeah, you
after Double
guys
Agent.
you guys even said at the midnight release, you guys went there, and there were not a lot of people online. There were like a couple people outside.
There were
smoking cigarettes
like
and,
5.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, Splinter Cell, it's a specific type of genre. You know, stealth action, that's very specific. Shooters, you know, you can buy any kind of shooter, and they're all kind of the same. But this is a very specific genre, and it has a very specific fan base. So you're not going to get the turnout you would get, you know, at the Call of Duty.
That's
Midnight
definitely
release.
true.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely
obviously.
true.
But I don't know. I think Ubisoft just hit one out of the park. In my opinion, this is a great game. Let's talk about like the key point, like the new mark and execute. I mean, kudos. That's awesome.
Now,
Nothing. I mean, me and Dave were just playing the other night, and the dual executing was just so gratifying. Oh
It's-
my gosh.
it's so much fun. I was so nervous when I heard about it, though, because it seemed like it's going to be so much easier. All
It
you
looked a
do is
little overpowered.
Yeah, all you do is you mark your guys and you walk up and you sock a dude in the face, and then all of a sudden you have the ability to instantly kill all 4 of them. But they really took the levels and they made it far more difficult. They upgraded the AI, the artificial intelligence of the guys you're facing is really decent. So you kind of need this additional leg up, if you will, or else they're gonna wipe the floor with you.
But
So
you have to remember, it's not free marks. You have to earn them in a way. You have to
True.
get a melee kill in order to earn the ability to mark players. So it's not like I'm just going to mark everyone in the room and I get to kill everybody. You know, you kind of have to earn it in a way.
Definitely. And man, it makes you feel like such a badass when you knock a guy out and then instantly pop 4 of his friends in the next room without
Definitely.
trying. It really is one of those action movie moments that let's face it, most of us can't do in real life. Man, and even playing a video game, it's impossible to get 4 headshots that fast, except with this new mark system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, would you guys recommend it to buy or to rent for someone who's a casual gamer?
For someone
Yeah.
who's a casual gamer,
Yeah.
Well,
I
like
don't
I
know.
said, it's a very specific genre, and if you're a stealth action player, you're gonna love this. You know, if you're the Metal Gear Solid fans, I'm sure you're gonna like this
True.
because they upped the action a lot in this one. The previous games, it was all about stealth. There was virtually no melee in the
yeah.
original video games, but they stepped it up. They made Sam Fisher a real badass.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You guys, you know,
So
we're gonna have to start wrapping it up because we're almost out of time. we didn't even talk
Wow.
about Blink. We got so into Splinter.
Well, you know what? Well, maybe that'll be podcast number 2.
We'll have to get it next
Well-
time then. The Blink
Well,
one.
it's
that's just how great Splinter Cell is. Look at it. We
That's
can
right.
just fill the entire podcast.
That's right.
with just
Well,
Splinter
let's go ahead and wrap it up. Personally, I'd give it on a score of 1 to 10. I'd give it a solid 8.5, 9. It was really good. I got a dock at a point though because I was really disappointed that there wasn't any sort of 3-on-3 versus mode.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Well, thank you for tuning in. This was the Band of Nerds podcast number 1, and
in the record books.
in the record books.
Yeah.
And keep your eyes out for podcast 2. Maybe we'll do Brink.